Rain pounded against the subway car windows like 1,000 tiny fists as the train screeched through the underground tunnel. The fluorescent lights above flickered, briefly casting long, uneasy shadows over exhausted faces. Everyone inside looked worn down by life. Everyone except one man who carried his exhaustion quietly. Ethan sat near the door, early 30s, clothes faded but neatly pressed. A janitor. A single father. A man who had learned how to shoulder heavy burdens without ever complaining. In one hand, he held a small brown lunchbox. Tucked carefully into his jacket pocket was a crayon drawing from his 6-year-old daughter, Lily. 3 shaky words written in bright colors still echoed in his heart. "You're my hero, Daddy." Ethan didn't know it yet, but the world was about to test those words. A few seats away, a woman suddenly gasped and doubled over, clutching her stomach. A handful of passengers glanced up, then quickly looked away. No one wanted involvement. No one wanted responsibility. She was heavily pregnant. Her white dress was soaked from the rain, clinging to her trembling body. Her face was pale, almost gray. When another contraction hit, she screamed, a raw, desperate sound that silenced the entire subway car. The train thundered on, indifferent to the life-or-death moment unfolding inside. Before we go any further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and in the power of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Kindness Warriors. Your support helps us bring stories like this into a world that desperately needs them. Yellowheart. Ethan didn't stop to think. He moved. He dropped his lunchbox, slid across the cold subway floor, and knelt beside her. "It's okay," he whispered, gently wiping sweat from her brow with a handkerchief. "You're not alone." She was panicking, barely able to breathe, her fears spilling out in broken sobs. Ethan spoke calmly, guiding her through each contraction, placing his jacket beneath her to shield her from the freezing floor. Around them, passengers watched. Some lifted their phones. None stepped forward. There was no conductor in the car, no doctor, no instructions. Just Ethan. He had never delivered a baby before, but his heart refused to let this woman suffer alone. He drew from every sleepless night rocking Lily, every moment he doubted himself as a father, but kept going anyway. The contractions grew stronger. She grabbed his hand, squeezing so tightly his fingers went numb. Time seemed to freeze. The train rattled beneath them like a furious heartbeat. And then, a cry. Small, sharp, alive. A newborn baby girl. Ethan held her with trembling hands, all washing over him. Tears filled his eyes as relief flooded his chest. The mother collapsed back, crying, pain and joy woven together. A few passengers began to clap softly. Others finally stepped forward to help. Ethan wrapped the baby in his jacket, careful and gentle, the same way he once wrapped Lily's doll, just to make her giggle. "You did it," he whispered to the exhausted mother. He had no idea how much those words would come back to change his life. When the train finally stopped, paramedics rushed in. The woman was placed on a stretcher, her baby safe in her arms. As she was wheeled away, she turned her head and looked at Ethan. Her lips parted as if to speak. But exhaustion won. He never learned her name. The days that followed seemed ordinary. Ethan returned to mopping floors at the corporate building where he worked. He packed Lily's lunches, braided her hair, kissed her forehead at school drop-off. Yet the moment on that subway replayed endlessly in his mind. 3 days later, everything changed. Ethan was scrubbing the marble floors of the executive lobby when he heard the sharp click of heels approaching. He stood to step aside, but the woman stopped. It was her. She looked completely different now. Confidence. Composed. Dressed in a tailored black suit. Security guards stood beside her, and in her hand was a baby carrier. "You're the man who delivered my daughter," she said softly. Ethan froze. You work here?" She smiled gently. "No, I own this company. My husband is the CEO. I'm Clara Aldrich." The room seemed to spin. The same building he cleaned every night. The same company that signed his paycheck. The same office where he mopped floors while Lily waited at home with leftover mac and cheese. He had delivered his boss's child on a subway floor, without ever knowing it. Clara explained that day she had gone out against her doctor's advice. She needed air, space, a moment to feel human instead of powerful. When labor began early, the only person who stayed was a stranger whose heart mattered more than any title. What happened next stunned Ethan even more. They didn't lecture him. They didn't pity him. They thanked him. The CEO took Ethan's hand with both of his and said, "You didn't just save my daughter's life. You reminded me that real strength comes from humility." They offered him money. Ethan politely refused. So they gave him something far more meaningful. A full scholarship for Lily's future education. A promotion into facilities management with flexible hours. A job with dignity, and time to be a present father. Clara became a mentor. Ethan became a reminder that heroism isn't about attention. It's about showing up when everyone else looks away. They named the baby Hope. If this story touched your heart, restored your faith in humanity, or reminded you that kindness still matters, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Warriors. Speech Balloon, tell us in the comments. What's one moment when a stranger changed your life in an unexpected way? We read every story, and your words inspire more people than you know.